Greetings. Shalom. Oh, it's late. It's almost just a few minutes before 4 o'clock in the night, not morning, not morning yet. And I couldn't do nothing, and just wanted to say something about, maybe a little specifically about, well, not that it hasn't been mentioned a bunch of times, who knows how many times, about doing something for the intention of self-gain, more views. It falls into that self-gain thing, more views. And I wrote in the description, it cut me off again, 5,000 limit, start deleting stuff. Seems to be happening almost every time now. First of all, it won't be able to be seen for anyone doing it. They won't be able to believe that that's what they're doing. This is assuming now, let's say someone is doing this. They're doing it for the intention, not as if that's the only thing. It's just that it's true that it's the intention out of like more views. It's not that there's nothing else going on. It's just speaking about one thing right now, which is doing something for the intention of more views. They'll say they're not. Some can maybe say it, but there's a certain condition and thing that has to happen in someone's heart for them to be able to say it and make it look like they sort of acknowledge that. They don't. The one that maybe is able to say the words will have all the justifications ready, and that's how they're able to say it. They don't believe it either. They don't believe that that's why they're doing what they're doing, for self-gain. Because how can someone freely give what hasn't been given? What if someone hasn't been given to freely give? How do you give what's never been given? It has to be freely given in order for someone to freely give. Maybe that's why someone charges, because they were not given anything, because they don't have anything. Can someone imagine this being true? And if something is true, is it evil to speak about the truth? What if everyone's doing that? What if that's what the world is? Is it just going to turn around and stop tomorrow? No, it won't. That has nothing to do with speaking about whatever sin is or whatever good is. That has nothing to do with that. That's already another crooked intention. Oh, someone's doing something because they're saving the world, because they're contributing to the world in some carnal way. That's another justification and lie that someone's lying about. No, they're not. They can't do those works and actually do what they say. They can't do what those words mean. They can't do those works from the heart. They just say the words. They claim they are. It's not happening. Can't do that while doing the sin constantly. It's not possible. Someone either loves the Creator or hates him, and someone either loves money or doesn't, and that does not mean it's perfected yet. And yet it's still true, and it needs to be seen how it could be true. Otherwise, it won't be seen how it could be true that someone doesn't love money, but they're not perfected. They can't see how that's true, then all of his word means nothing, because that's how his truth works. It will mean nothing then. None of it applies then. It's all evil garbage then for someone. That's what it only could be, because it applies with everything like that. If perfection literally is demanded and required in one day, get rid of all the word, burn it up. Don't pretend to believe, but the church world will continue to pretend to believe. But there's no reason to. They should just get rid of all of the Father's word and just have nothing to do with it. That would be more truthful, because that's the truth. It's what I see. It's worthless then. Someone just cast out something as dung when it's incredibly huge and important. Well, that pretty much shows where that person's at and what they believe and what they don't believe. Discernment's needed. But the works will prove what someone believes in their heart. They can't hide it. The works will prove what someone actually believes in their heart, not what they say and what they're constantly hiding, suppressing, trying to get someone to believe a lie that isn't what their heart believes to cover it. The works will prove and show what someone's heart actually believes, and it cannot be hidden. That's why we read anything said in the secret dark place, it'll be proclaimed on the housetops, on the roofs of the housetops, Messiah said. That little secret's already out. It's already over, because no one's allowed to do that. They just think they're doing that. It's already proclaimed everywhere. They don't know what it means. Therefore, they don't believe it's happening to them. What if they could see the works that prove those words are true? They would be shaking a little bit for how blind they were. That everything they said and claimed is a lie. That they do what we read for evil. That it's being done. What if someone could see the works that prove it? But if someone sees nothing, then they don't have any proof in their mind for them being in sin and sinner, doing evil. Therefore, it won't believe it's doing evil. It'll continue to call good evil and evil good, light darkness, and darkness light. Even literally, it gets that bad that even literally it's called a new day in the middle of the night. But it's happening spiritually, constantly, nonstop, calling good evil and evil good, calling light darkness and darkness light. Woe to those who do that, we read. Woe to those who call good evil and put light for darkness. Do they believe they're doing that? Does someone in the religion believe they're doing that? No, they don't. They don't believe they're doing that. They'll justify their sin. It is the only thing man can do when he's exposed. He'll justify it. We can count on it. Apart from the Creator, someone will do that, only be able to do that. They won't be able to do anything else. In their mind, the lie became reality. That why they do what they do is for some kind of lie that they came up with and tell themselves, this is why I do what I do, with no works to prove it and all works to prove their lie. It's so prideful and blind that it thinks it can say whatever it wants and no one sees all the works and proof. It's right in front of them. It's a pile standing right next to them, on them, all the sin. And it thinks it can hide while it's in plain sight. All the proof that it's a lie and liar is right there to be seen for those that have eyes to see and ears to hear. It's standing right there. They are the person. That's what discernment is. You start seeing it. You start seeing the heavy laden sin and the proof and the works all piled up, and watch someone in disbelief as they try to deceive you and say that they're not doing something or this or that, and assuming and acting as if you're as blind as them, automatically taking you for a fool every time, because it casts sorcery out, hoping nobody sees it. So therefore, a lot of times people don't see something then, because the person didn't want them to, and that sorcery work in the spiritual wickedness in high places, like we read. This is not reserved for the Catholic Church or something. This is applying to all people, spiritual wickedness in high places. It's all the sins and evil in the flesh, but spiritual wickedness, sins of the flesh. It's all the evil through the darkness, through the enemy. It's all the works of the devil. That's what the spiritual wickedness is in high places. As if there's no spiritual wickedness in low places. That's not what's being said. And he showed me that. It was just more astonishment. Wow, that's what this means? They're saying it means this and it has nothing to do with the truth. That's what it means. It's not just some beast out there to point the finger and say, this is the beast. This is the Roman Catholic Church harlot. This is the spiritual wickedness in high places. It's talking about itself. It's for everyone. It's the evil that's done in the heart. is the high places. Heaven, spiritual things, the heavenly things, things of the heart, is a high place, and the wickedness is being done in the heart. High places. In the temple, it's an important high place. We read about the temple manifested literally as a type and shadow of the true in the Old Testament. And things about the temple, the person is the temple. And within the temple, there's a high place. The Creator doesn't dwell where there's unbelief and nothing but sin and no belief. He doesn't dwell in temples like that. It's only through His way. In the high place in the temple where only the high priest can go. And then there's for the people, but then there's something special for the high priest. Messiah is the high priest. The king that the church world does not believe in, but hates and murders and rejects and comes up with an anti-Messiah God-man that has nothing to do with the Father's truth at all and didn't do the Creator's will and had free will. If someone's in slavery to sin constantly every day, how do they have free will when they're literally a slave to it, meaning you can't come out? Hence the word slave, to sin, slavery, the bondage in Egypt. You can't come out. You try to run, some devil's going to catch you or kill you. They show that in the movies too. You can't leave. You can't leave. Oh no, especially if you made a blood pact or some kind of abomination. You definitely can't leave now. It's over. It was over before it was over. Unless the Father has mercy on someone, but you won't hear from them if He did. You won't know them or hear from them on CNN that somebody repented and became a great man now. Used to be a bad guy, he converted and changed. It's a bunch of lying sorcery. If they actually repented, and this happens to a few in this world, because how hardly a rich man enters the kingdom of heaven. It's fewer than the few, that He doesn't choose very many rich, worldly rich. It's just the truth. Therefore, anyone teaching the opposite, which is there's many rich, they're already liars. No, there's not. It's very rare that somebody that's rich and famous and in popularity that comes out of there. It's incredibly rare. I don't know how many. It's not important, the literal number. It's already few to start with. It's even fewer that the rich are called and grafted in. That He has mercy on whom He has mercy, compassion on whom He has compassion. It's very rare. The Father can show how His word is true through this being true and seeing the proof that there is not many and very, very few is proof that His word is true. The only way to see that it's proof is to see the things that He gives to see and show us, the works and discernment, to see the heart's works and compare it to His word and what people are doing. Breaking something, breaking the commandments, and seeing these details for breaking constantly, showing how His word is true constantly through nobody able to keep the law in the heart of themselves and not able to come out of the slavery they're in, even literally to the bondage of Egypt and the job and whatever. They're brutal slave masters. That's what all businesses are. That's run by the devil. If it's in and of the world, then that business is run that way through evil only. If they're in and of the world, that's all it can be. It can't be any other way. It just did a little bit better job of hiding the brutality that man has always been in a modern society where it makes things look better than they used to look, more barbaric, more beastly manifested, which I believe is being unleashed. And it's why part of why we read it'll be like Noah's day is because the Father will rip the image off, and then people will just start slaughtering each other when there's a little bit of pressure for their life literally being threatened. Someone will pull out their sawed-off now that goes to church, and they're ready now to kill. Father's going to prove it. It's going to be a bloodbath someday, without a doubt. But who actually believes it? Because they could say the same words in this world. Do they believe it? If they get angry for hearing the same words that I just said, and that makes them furious, then when they say it, they must not believe those words at all or know what it means at all. They must be saying those words for a different intention altogether, for some other reason that has nothing to do with actually believing and understanding something and believing it. No, for some other intention. It exposes the government or the world's evils here and there or whatever, for some other intention completely, to make self-righteous and to hide sin and look good in this world. You have to show how you hate evil and condemn people and point the finger. You have to show everyone how righteous you are. That's the only way man can do without the Creator. He has to show everyone how good he is, to cover that he's no good. If he was doing the Father's good works, he wouldn't have to show, and has no intention anymore to show how good someone is. They won't be seen in the world if they're a believer. They'll disappear. You'll never hear about them again, unless some crazy miracle where the Father would just move someone to like bump into someone. But otherwise, nobody's going to hear from them in this world. They won't be talked about. They won't be on anybody's mind being worshipped by the world. They'll be a dead, blind, invisible person to the world. If someone actually came out of all that evil like they claim they do, you wouldn't see them giving their story behind a bunch of cameras to the entire world, very okay with it, showing all the good it's done, all the conversion. It believes its own lie that it's being converted, and it believes its own lie that it's actually changing and doing good now, and there's nothing that's happened in the heart yet, not even a little yet. This is the many. That's what we'll see the most. That's the many. The repentance isn't real. The image isn't real. It's just a trick and a cover and image of righteousness and self-righteousness changing the laws whenever it feels like it to make itself right in that moment. It will create its own law that fits its own sin and makes the other person wrong and them right automatically, however they please to twist and change their doctrines and lies in that moment to look good and make the other person look evil and like a liar, therefore to defend its delusion. Now all that money came to someone in a box. Now you have to be a insane blind person defending it now. Now you just do defending money. I defend money now. I've gone totally insane in delusion. Not going to even use it. Now I'm just worried someone's going to get me. And now my job is to just defend the money. Now all I'm doing is just defending the money. Can someone see what this is? It's utter foolishness and vanity. And that's being nice about it. It's blind evil. It's gone into desperate delusion and become utterly blind and foolish. Someone thinks they can mock the Creator and it won't happen to them. They'll do all the stupid things that they've shown in the movies that people do. And someone goes, why do they do that? You do it too. And you'll do it too if you did the same exact literal work. The same thing would happen. You'd go blind. And you would do the stupid thing no matter how much you try not to. They will go blind and they will do the dumbest, most foolish thing possible every time, and always will get caught every time, because the definition of being caught is not what the world thinks. Even then, that day is coming for someone and no one escapes. But the moment the sin is done, they're already got trapped and caught. They can't come out of it now. Now everything they have to do is based around protecting its soul for the wickedness it did. Now it has to kill more people to survive tomorrow. That's what's being done spiritually in the heart every day. Every single day, someone needs to live in the beast. Well, you have to kill people to live. You get an itch, you scratch it. You need to go and murder. It's hungry. It's a spiritual hungry they don't know about. trying to fill up some other way by stuffing money bags in their gut or something, or stuffing yourself with food saying, now I have everything, this should fix it. No, that's not the true bread. The literal bread is not the true bread. They're starving still, even though they're stuffed. When someone's starving, they need to go commit some evil. They have to do some kind of evil, at the very least with their heart, murder somebody out in this world. Anybody, they have to go do it now. If someone does an evil and just kills someone all of a sudden, like they've said, the second kill is way easier, and the third even easier. Now they have to kill and shed more blood to stay alive in this world. Why does it even want to stay alive? Now its only life's purpose is to kill, steal, and destroy. Isn't that the enemy's only intention? Is that just for a few people, or is that for everyone? Speaking of all creation, all mankind, his only intention is to kill, steal, and destroy if it's not doing the Father's will and has nothing to do with him. It's all it's been doing, all it will do, all it has done. It's living those words, kill, steal, and destroy. It cannot do anything else. It doesn't see what sin is and isn't learning and doesn't want to learn and ask, thinking it takes a few days and then done. I'm in religion now, I'm saved, and I know everything, said the devil, right in Genesis. They don't believe it. They don't believe that's them. They're reading about themselves. We're reading about ourselves. That's for everyone. Are you Cain or are you Abel? You're one of the two, and you'll complete one of the two paths. All the details for the sin and the law of sin and death, and all the details for the good and the law of the Spirit and the Creator's righteousness. One of those two pathways are being done by everyone. The prophecy is being completed by everyone. One of those two, the wide gate or the narrow gate. Everyone's in one of those two. No one's escaped and doing some righteous thing that's better than someone else. It's not happening. No one's ever escaped the judgment. Might as well be put in a prison with chains, it's so sure. Nobody can escape the Creator's judgment right now even. Someone lies, someone does some kind of evil, they'll get buried in it. They'll be trapped and can't come out. What does that look like for a picture? Please get me out. I'm in a ditch. I can't get out. And then the person in the ditch is teaching the world and people that it has free will while it's trying to get out of a ditch. It doesn't like this picture because it's very looking stupid. It looks really stupid and foolish. It makes the image look bad. That's what's happening spiritually. It's very real. It's someone in a ditch screaming, I got free will. That's what I see. I don't see the literal thing anymore. That's nothing to me. And as a believer grows, it's going to become more and more nothing, seeing only the truth and real things. And if someone asks a question, it's going to be answered out of the truth and what's real. It doesn't matter if they like it or not, or understand it or not. It doesn't matter if they believe that they're getting answered or not. The good, right thing and true answer has to be given to them anyways, regardless of what they think of you, whether they understand it or not, or believe it or not. It doesn't matter. The Father's already, his way is already proven and tested, meaning there's no escape from it. To do good, you have to have evil coming your way from people. You can't be lifted up, getting more and more views, becoming some millionaire famous person in the world. That's not possible. Someone is guaranteeing their destruction by rising and making that possible. Even that was given to them. If it wasn't, they wouldn't even have that. They would be the poor person. They wouldn't be the rich person. They're the rich person because it was given. The poor person's poor because that's what was given. And if nothing else is declared, those two can't switch or become something else all of a sudden. The poor can't become rich and the rich can't become poor now. On their own free will, they can't. They don't decide that. There's no reality to that. It doesn't control anything. It doesn't control anyone in reality. It just does in a delusion. It wants to control people. And through it, it does look like that's what happens and is happening, and it is. But it's not, even that's not real. It has to be seen. They don't have any power or control. The only way to show power and control in this world, in religion, which is in and of the world, is doing evil to someone. That's the devil's power. Nobody that talks about power in and of the world is speaking about anything else except evil. Power in this world is only through evil. No good, zero, none. When someone talks about wanting this power, sitting in that chair behind that desk, how does it feel? Oh, it feels like a little better than holding a gun to someone's head. They lust for that power. The only way to get this power is by doing evil. That's it. If someone has this power in this world, I wonder what they've done to get it. Definitely won't be voting for that person. Yes, please. Murder and lie and deceive to people. I fully support the wicked. Can't have anything to do with that. They think that some business is different than another. They all run the same. It's not any different. Some worse, some less worse. The less worse doesn't make them shine or become a light or good now. It's still bad. It's still evil. It's just lesser evil. Black and darkness over here is still black and darkness over there. One is just deeper down the bottomless pit, out of which frogs, demons, foul spirits come out. And they go out to deceive people and put them in a cage called the church world, called the temples made with hands, business and harlot of religion. It's a business that's in and of the world, connected to the world. The government and this world never gave anyone freely anything at any time, because I'm speaking of the heavenly freely giving, not the wickedness that is no giving at all, but the world says and believes and always has believed it is. No, it's never done the freely giving that they can read about a day in its life. It doesn't even know what it is. How could it know what it has never been given? How could it give freely what they haven't been given? That's why someone's charging. That's why they want to charge for their product or their healing, their lie. I want to help you, but first give me $500 for this session, and I'll see you again next week. And I'll keep increasing the price as the most I can. I just will test you like this. Just want to see where your limit is. I'm going to charge you as much as I can. Then either give you a sugar pill or something that isn't a sugar pill. Either way, wanting to stuff some pills quickly to someone because they want to watch them be destroyed. Who believes it? They're frauds and they're wicked, and every single one of them wants someone to be destroyed. It's why they do what they do. They're hiding right there so that nobody can see them, because they create an image of healing someone, giving. See, it creates a nice image. No one will suspect them there. The person at the insane institution, the ones working there are definitely not insane themselves. No, they're definitely not insane. They might be more insane than the people that are in there. The workers just might be more insane and evil than the people that they serve, supposedly serve and help. What are they helping? I don't know. Just keeping you in an insane place for 50 years until you die. I guess that's really helping someone. And people still believe it's working and it's good or something. All the proof that the world uses to prove something is not proof at all, but that's how this sick world works. It gives you some carnal, worthless thing that sounds good in someone's mind, and it covers the truth and makes it look like the truth, and it looks believable when nothing else is seen for truth. Then the lie is believable to someone. One person buys that lie, another one doesn't, but they go and buy a different lie. It doesn't matter that it's a little different. It's the same things being done in the heart. It has something to sell and buy constantly. That's the world, the image of the beast. It's always buying and selling everything. It's a transaction spiritually and even literally. It sells an image to the viewer, to the buyer. of whatever image they want and whatever sorcery they want to put in their mind, and starts creating its own people for their own gain, gets them hooked, plays all these sick, evil games. It loves the power that it thinks it has. It loves when someone complains and they can't do anything about it, and yet they still keep on buying that thing. They get off on that. They get off on it a lot. They'll never tell you, though. They're just hiding in the dark, constantly doing that. Maybe sharing it with their buddy that works there, saying this guy's an idiot, and blah 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 is said. When they think nobody's listening, they're trashing their customers, their fans in the dark, aren't they? They have to, because their works are wicked. Therefore, they put their wickedness and literal stupidity onto the consumer and blame them and say, you're an idiot and retard for believing this, that I am trying to sell you. I am the wicked retard. I want to deceive you. I want to destroy you. I want to rob you and make you buy something and worship idols and commit sin in the heart so you can be destroyed and worship me more and make me more money. I want all those things for you in my heart, but it doesn't acknowledge any of that, does it? No, it doesn't. That's what it really wants. It wants to viciously destroy and attack as many people as it can before it goes out. That's why they show that in the movies too. No one can love someone that they lie to. All those buddies, they look like they were good friends till a little bit of money, till a little bit of testing, whatever the experience is, came, and all of a sudden they're killing each other now. I thought they were friends. I thought they were having a good time and partying somewhere, eating out at an expensive fancy place 5 minutes ago, and now they're killing each other. Must have been some friend. And then the one tries to say the other is doing sin, right? You're a backstabber. You're going to part ways with this person and not tell me because they can't trust each other. There's no trust anywhere. Devils can't trust devils. There's no friends in the devil in reality. It's a trick. They just think that they're friends. They're not. They hate each other. They can't trust. They can't have the good fruits of any actual blessing for doing what's good. They all have to not have any trust or faith in anything. It's not to say to trust in man with the heart. This is something different, to try to bring out that the Creator doesn't make a way for any blessings there. They have to hate each other and not trust each other because they're doing evil, all of them. And then it breaks up. And then how bad it is, that's going to vary literally how bad it's but all the sin is done in the heart. All the murder's done in the heart. Every single time, regardless. Even though someone doesn't get murdered literally, it's still being done in the heart. Murder is in the heart. And it accuses its so-called friend of doing something that it's currently doing itself. It's always talking about itself in hypocrisy. It's blind. It's got a log in its eye on a good day. For everything it accuses someone else, it does itself. It's doing that currently. Oh, you're backstabbing, you're doing this, you don't trust this, you're going to part ways with this person and not tell me? Oh, I was doing that too, by the way. I just don't think it's evil when I do it. It's only evil when you do it to me. Nobody does that to God. Only God does that to others. Only God, man, can do that evil to others. They can't see the same evil it's doing currently back done to it. Then it goes out in the church world and says something about loving neighbors real quick, as you would want others to, do to you as you do to them, or do unto others as you would want others to do to you. Then it just says those words real quick and thinks that it can just cover up everything for saying those words. Just makes it all go away, doesn't it? No, it doesn't actually do that. It's not working for someone. They're in destruction and death regardless. The judgment comes on them anyways, just like Adam and Eve. Eve made me do it. The serpent made me do it. Blame someone. It's the sin in the heart that matters. And it's blaming and attacking and putting its sin onto someone else. That's how you know what the sin is, if you can see the works. If we can see the works, then you can see what sins they're doing by watching what they dump on others and accuse them of. That's them. They're talking about themselves. It's an utter foolish perfect trap. Why do we read about traps? Because these are the spiritual traps that the Creator puts everyone in, and they cannot come out of it. Watching their stupidity and blindness and foolishness do exactly what my Creator says that they will do, right to the very letter for what it really means in the heart. Scary blind, scary, frighteningly fulfilling prophecy for all the evil, and only able to do it constantly, proving it. He's constantly showing and proving those that ask, so you want to do his will, he'll show the proof, but show the works. We read to, you'll know them by their works. So then we have to be given to see that, or how will we keep that? He needs to give us that to keep that. That's one thing we read, you know them by their works. Well, then we need to receive whatever this is to be able to see that. Or else how will someone live? Know them by their works? They won't. They'll know them by their image only. They'll only know someone based on the delusion and carnal image that they've been sold and they bought. They won't have any truth in them. They won't make any righteous judgment to see what's happening in the heart, but only looking outwardly, only judging a book by its cover. Why does it say don't judge a book by its cover? To hide that it never keeps that, to make it look like it hates that, but it doesn't. It only keeps judging others by the cover. So all it ever does is judge others by its cover, the book by its cover. Then it quickly says the words to make it look like it doesn't do that. That's only good if someone's actually seeing and believing and wanting and doing what they're saying, knowing what it means. The proof of having the true knowledge is actually starting to do what it means and not be a hypocrite. There's nothing wrong in saying the words if they were true, but it's only said if it's not true. Then why was it said? To cover its sins. That's why someone said it. They didn't say it out of truth. They said it out of a delusion. They don't even know why they said it. They're going to deny that they said it, even though their mind and their heart was already thinking all the thoughts were real. Someone thinks it's not actually happening. It's happening. They actually do the works. People, everyone, all of us done it. The thoughts in the heart are actually thinking these evil things and wants to do them. It's called being blind. It can't see that it does that. It doesn't want to see that it does that. That would be proof that it's a sinner and not God, and break its free will rebellion, which is all sin, free will. Free will your way out of Egypt and the bondage and slavery to Egypt. Free will your way out of it. Choose today, right now, to change this and change that in your life. Just boom, make it happen. Can't do it, can it? No, only someone will move only if the Creator allows it to be so and makes it so that they move and do something different. They can't come out of the slavery to the sin that they're in. Mankind can't come out of this bondage. Otherwise, why do we read about Messiah setting the captives free? Because we can't do it ourselves? No, we can't do it ourselves. But someone has to believe that they're in captivity in order to ever have a real hope of coming out of it. Before they can start coming out of it, they have to first acknowledge that they're in it. That day will never come if they never acknowledge the truth, whatever the heart really is and what it's always been and what's all the works prove. The day will never come. The healing will never come, so long as it believes it's good when it's evil. There's nothing to heal for those that say they're good. Okay, you don't need a physician. He's good, not sick. Father goes by what someone says in the heart. That means we're supposed to do that too. If someone says something, you listen to what they say. You don't go based off of trying to control someone, playing some deceptive game with them. They tell you this, if it's not a sin or something, you said this is what you wanted, this is what you asked. And then they get angry that you do what they say. What kind of foolishness is that? It asks you to do something and gets angry when you actually do it. Oh, that's because nobody actually has done the good work. unless it's being given. That's not what the person has ever seen in this world. Other people worship its image back when it says the same thing or asks to do this or asks to do that or whatever it is. That's someone else worshiping their image. They're not actually giving from the heart what the person asked and said, because they're also a God in their own mind. Nobody tells God what to do, remember? Therefore, it's not actually doing the good. It's only looking like it. Then the other person will have to smile and pretend to love and care about that person because they worship their image. But they can't love the person now because they didn't actually do the actual good work. They didn't actually do whatever that person asked of them from the heart. It never happened. Therefore, they have to hate that person while looking like they love them for an image. They have to hate the one that does evil and sins back to them, to judgment. They have to hide that hatred now. Go into more slavery. Do what you don't want to do. Set yourself a trap and someone starts controlling you and you can't come out of it. Carnal man. Then he goes out and says he has free will. Starts doing things for others, what someone else is telling them to do, that he doesn't really want to do, but he has to worship his image. So someone takes advantage of this, and that's how you can control someone. If someone's doing sin, they got weaker, they got more blind, and they're going to be easier manipulated now because of being heavy laden with sin. Wicked men take advantage of heavy laden sin that women are in. They take advantage of it. They're easier. They will be easier because they're heavy laden in sin. And all the traps and situations that happen to someone, they're trapped in it. Now the woman has to pretend she likes whatever's happening because she fears her life and doesn't see any other way out of it. Now she has to kiss the man that she brutally, murderously hates. She can't love some rapist or abuser. She can't love that person. Now she has to put on an act to save her soul. She's trapped. Get out of that situation. Don't get raped then. Free will your way out of it. Can do nothing about it. I wonder why this happens. Because that's all they've ever done to people. How do you like being pinned down and unable to get out of whatever situation you're in, the Father says? How do you like what you've done to others come back to you now? And always spiritually in this condition. It's always happening spiritually, doing what someone else is telling them to do and controlling them to do. Now the Father gives back a judgment right in someone's face, and they don't believe in his judgments coming back. They get even more rebellious and angry that a judgment came back on them and that they got taken out like this and trapped and abused and controlled or whatever happened. Then it gets furious and wants to destroy the one that did it. It wants to become and do the same thing that was done to them. Now it needs to murder and rape and kill people or whatever was done to them spiritually. Does the same thing back now. It needs to go and complete the delusion, the lie. It has no forgiveness for the enemy. How could it? It doesn't believe in that at all. It's an enmity against that. That's why we read in his word, it's enmity towards the Creator, enmity towards between light and darkness. There's nothing in there. It's enmity. It's full-on brutal hatred against the Creator and his way and his truth and his works and everything that's good. It already is that. Someone is already fully that right now that doesn't believe. It's already true. It just needs to be shown how. Someone that doesn't believe will never see how. Not in this life. It's going to get hardened like Pharaoh and die in the delusion. Going to have to see it one day. Scriptures teach this. Teaches this thing, that everything will be revealed. No one's going to escape. Death isn't going to be an escape for those that don't believe. They would like it to be. No, it's not going to be an escape. It's not an escape. That's a sure thing. And that's what his word teaches. Father won't allow some kind of abomination like that for there to be escape. Some little child got away from the Creator and proved the Creator wrong and proved him a liar and evil, proved him powerless. Not going to happen. That's foolishness. Creator's not going to let some rebellious child get away with anything. It's not happening. Never going to happen. But nobody in the world is learning his judgments. They're not seeing how it works, why, seeing the good, seeing the evil, not learning any of it. Therefore, it's just constantly offended at what it sees. Everywhere around it, it's offended at what it sees. When there's no answer, it's just a massive contradiction, mystery, and a serious confusion within someone. And it just ends up hating everything in its heart. Looking for the next hit, looking for the next thing to please self, to try to make all this sin and death go away, and it never works. It gets worse. Then it gets trapped in that worse thing, and it keeps getting worse, and it can't come out of it, and it still goes out and teaches the rebellion, free will. Still goes out and teaches to be a rebel and to be in death. To command free will is to command to be in death. Might as well say the words right next to it. That's what it is. Someone that's teaching someone about this evil free will is teaching them to be and wanting them to be in death. Yes, it is. Proof. Death is the only way if it's not his way. If it's a sin, it's not his way. If it's not his way, it's death. There's no other way. There's nowhere to hide in the middle where none of these things are true. The one is not the true or the other, or just hide in the middle. I escaped it all. It's not happening. Person not realizing it, or what? The people in and of the world not realizing it. The death they're in, they don't see it every single day. It's not proof to them that the Creator is true, that his power is true, that he's real, that his truth is real. It's not proof at all. All the proof around them and within them every day. Death and every day. In death every day. And no proof. Doesn't want to see it. Doesn't see it. Doesn't know what death is. It seeks it. It makes a covenant with death. We read, why do you do this? Why do you make a covenant with death? Why do you choose death? Choose life. Come on, choose life. We read it. Choose life. Free will your way to choose life. Don't choose death. Choose life. Can't you do it? Cain. Sin lies and knocks at the door. Choose to do good. You must overcome it. You will overcome it, Cain, won't you? It's a mockery because the carnal man can't overcome anything of himself. The rebellion is thinking that he can and trying the rest of his life to find some other way, besides the true way. He's going to try to find another way the rest of his life. All the different ways that are the wide gate that don't work, and end up dying in a death of something that never worked, dying in the delusion, needing to believe it till the very last day and minute of its life, masquerading all the way onto the deathbed. Who wants that? That's brutal, man. That's death. There's nothing to envy. There's nothing good. Who wants that? They want that for themselves? Well, if not, then the only way is to believe in the Creator and want to do his will. Seek the truth, seek him every day, not self, not all these other ways. Millions of ways that exist that don't work. But people are going to try anyways, all the way. The many will have to line up with his word, won't it? We read that how hardly a rich man enters the kingdom. What's the reality? Is the Father a liar? What's the reality? There's never been many. Not even right now, there's not many, because his word's never a lie. We need to learn his truth, not the other way around. Create the truth and then say, God told me so. That's the trick. That's looking like the real thing. Creating a golden calf and acting like it's God. It gives the doctrine to the golden calf. It creates its laws. It creates its doctrines. It's not getting it from the Creator. The golden calf can't do anything. It doesn't save Egypt, although they all say it does. This golden calf got us out of Egypt, got us out of sin and death and darkness. We're saved. This false God and false Messiah saved us in Christianity, got us out of sin and death. We're out now. We're free now. We know what it means to be free now, don't we? Just the catchphrase, empty, means nothing. The true being set free, what it really means and what the Father does for someone, that's valuable. The other thing isn't even real. It's just a trick. It doesn't do anything concerning setting free. It means nothing for the truth. It does nothing for someone. Let me jump up and down on purpose now to make it look like I have his spirit in there. What did that do for someone? Nothing. It wasn't real. You just have to make it look real, which means that's the lie. That's the image. It's trying to hide and cover that it doesn't have the Father's Spirit by purposely making it look like it does. So as no one's seeing and spotting that they don't believe at all. So that people don't see them. To why they do what they do. How could someone in the delusion believe they're in it? The many called of Israel in the desert never believed they were in a delusion. Did something change? They only thought they were going to get to the promised land. They never did. They never entered the kingdom. They never believed. We read, why didn't they attain to the law of righteousness? Because they didn't do it with faith. They didn't have any faith. Zero. That's what it means. The apostles secretly saying they had a little bit of the true faith just after he said they didn't do it by faith. That means they didn't have faith. None. They didn't do it by faith. Zero. It doesn't mean that they did it by faith 5%. Mixed. 95% good, 5% bad. Now the 5% makes the 95% good and wipes it away. That's what sin is right there. That is what sin is. That is what the heart is. That is what the world is. 95 and 5, 5 and 95, 80 and 20. That's what it does with everything. The mixed thing doesn't exist in reality. It doesn't actually exist. That's the delusion. Believing that it works and that exists is the lukewarm delusion and lie. It doesn't work. It's not real. Actual sins are not actually forgiven through unbelief. And nothing actually happens to someone that doesn't believe. Their sins are still on them, like heavy laden with sin. Either the Father's truth actually does something, it's real. Foolish harlot. Everything is not real. It's all just a game. None of it's real to them. They don't believe. I haven't seen it. The more he shows you, the dumber the lie becomes. The more clear his truth becomes, the more added to why free will is a lie and not true. More is shown how it's true and how it works. If none of those things are being seen, someone just hears the words, no free will. You say, how dare you say no free will? I could choose to do something right now. That's the best they could do. They're not speaking out of why those words are said, which are the spiritual understanding given for any given thing, which is the spiritual understanding given for something. Here's why these words are said, no free will, and then being given works, understanding for how it works, seeing the real slavery, very real, watching it happen, and then seeing someone talk about free will while they're in slavery, but they don't see how they're in slavery because they're blind. They don't believe they're in slavery in Egypt over there. They can't believe that about themselves. What did the prideful Pharisees say? We've never been under anybody's rule. We're not under the Romans or anybody. We're not under anyone. They were under the Romans. While they were moving their lips, they lied. We haven't been slaves to anyone. First of all, they're slaves to sin every single day concerning all the spiritual truth and reality, the Father's word. But even literally under the Romans' control, while they say we're not under enslaved to anybody. Yes, you are. That's the only thing you are. That's why you said you're not, to try to hide that you're not, that you are. It didn't say that because it's true, because it's real, because of understanding. It said that for some other carnal, crooked, deceitful intention. That's what people want, and you have to let them have it. Ultimately, they want death. Okay, have death. Believe the lying schemer that charges you $500 for whatever problem someone has that they're trying to get rid of and throw onto somebody. Just throw it off of their body all the way. Those sins won't be forgiven through some heretic and witch committing sorcery, taking someone's money. It's not going to happen. Someone starts in Egypt, that means there's a lot of sin going on. Father has to just overcome in us. That's what we believe, to do the works in us. Don't come out of Egypt in one day. There's a lot of things that you can't just do tomorrow. It has to be his will. It has to be his plan. You can't just say, stop this, go over here and do this instead. Stop this, that's wicked. Go and do this. That'll destroy someone. That's why they're doing it, to destroy someone. Do they believe that? Never. They want someone to be destroyed by commanding them what to do instantly for tomorrow. Go get a new job. Go do this right now. You're wicked. Yeah, you want that person destroyed, carnally commanding them like that. Just go and do some massive change real quick and have no clue why. Don't believe any of its actual sin. Don't understand it. Don't see how it works. Just go and do something real quick and believe someone that told you what to do. That means that person won't do it out of wanting to do it for any kind of good or understanding. It won't do it out of watching evil and not wanting to do evil. It just obeyed some blind command and doesn't know why it did it for real. But it was sold because of the image, because now you're righteous if you don't look like you do this. Go get this job over here. Now you're righteous because you don't look like you do that now. You did the change, you fixed yourself. That's not how anything works. Nobody learns all this in one day, as if the heart can just be forced with a bunch of truth and understanding and boom, I'm done because I did something in 5 seconds. My heart actually changed in 5 seconds. It's not reality. Might take a few years to do something, and then that thing can finally become good that somebody falsely commanded you to do. Then it might be good, or it might not be, but that's how it works. Discernment's needed for whether it is or not. But the intention was evil. It was not through any understanding at all. It just wanted to command someone to do something so that they can get off on it and boast in the flesh that someone obeyed them. And then people are told, look how righteous this guy is or this person is. Look what he did. And then it spreads. They have to show themselves righteous then. Why? Because there's no righteousness in them. They're empty. So they have to try to show how much they have. To hide they have nothing. That's how it's working. This world's not going to believe the Father's truth and how it works and what it is. It's going to believe that it's good, that it's bringing the world together as one. There's no heaven above us, no hell below us. Imagine no heaven, imagine no hell. Imagine being a robot worshiping AI. Imagine being a soulless dead person while I sing, and that's why I'm singing it. Imagine my delusion. Imagine how strong it is. Imagine that I don't do any good, but I always thought I did. It sure paints a nice, righteous image, doesn't it? That somebody wants world peace and imagine this utopia, whatever someone pictures in their mind. No reality at all. It's never going to come through this world. What they act like they want, they don't want. If the kingdom of heaven came tomorrow and it just flipped the world upside down, all those people and singers would get out their guns and start killing the kingdom of heaven and getting rid of it. They never wanted what they claim they want. They don't want peace on earth, rotten filth, lying skunks, like they can't be seen right through for what they really want and what they are, taking everybody for a blind fool, destroying billions. They deserve the death they're in for however many people it deceived. It deserves it. It deserves the Creator's judgments for doing evil, and so do we for whatever sin's done. Everyone does. Needing to learn and want to do the Creator's will and do good. That's a murderer that came up with that song. A lying murderer. All the works already proved that they don't want what that really is and what it really means according to truth. What happened a long time ago when the world was being flipped around, like we read, seems like things were starting to change. The world is turning upside down. Here comes all the devils to turn it back upside down. That's what happened. It's always been happening and it'll happen again. The world didn't change. It doesn't love good. It doesn't love peace. It doesn't want any good for anyone. You can't want good for someone while lying to them. Won't get through its thick, stiff head, neck, like stiff like a board. It won't go through. Can't lie to someone and then claim you love them. It's not real. It's not happening. What about all the stories for these people that shot up in the riches? Who even wants to remotely know how bad it is? How many evil, insane things have happened and constantly are happening for those riches and fame? Not a single one of them got life out of it. They're all destroyed, very confused and destroyed. And it wants to destroy others and get everyone in Gehenna to join its destruction. It's sick. If I'm destroyed, everyone else must be destroyed. If I get the power of the gods, I could be Superman. I'll just go and kill and destroy everyone. That's what I'll use that power for. Never going to be for good. That's nonsense. The first thing it's going to do is how can I make myself look good? How can I make myself look like I love this community and love this city? That's what it's going to think of first after it got its money and whatever its desire was carnally. What is it going to do first? Make its image look good. That's all it is. It's about the image of the business. There's images there, there's images here, there's images everywhere. It's the image of the business, that's it. And the legacy is the image it left behind. There's nothing to do with the truth and what was actually done in reality, in the heart. It's the image that it left behind for a legacy. It's a fantasy, it's fantasia, it's not real. It's a Mickey Mouse kingdom. It dreams. It's a dreamer that dreams that something works in a dream, and dreams not even real. It's not reality. living the dream. Just don't forget that that's the delusion when someone says that, living the dream. Dreams aren't the reality. So therefore, whatever's not reality is a delusion. Dream's not reality. So therefore, it's delusion. It's wanting to paint the picture of what they see that image is and like apply it to its life. And then it likes all those images of people going, wow, I'm a good person. Wow, this over here's happening. It likes those images. It wants to create that reality for itself to become greater. It's an abomination to serve someone for real. It wants to be served. It forgot that Messiah says, I didn't come to get served. He came to serve. Yes, what a contradiction to the kings of the earth. No king in and of the world has ever come to serve someone. They are getting served while believing the lie that they serve everyone. They believe the lie that they do want to serve others. They're getting served. That's what a king gets in this world. It gets served by its slaves. It's what it uses them for its own riches and gain. It's not serving anyone except itself. Why do these people work? To make it money. That's why it exists. What will the delusion be? Well, someone needs this. People like this. Those are all the justifications. No, the only real thing is that it does this so that it gets more money for itself. What are those good for nothing people under me for? To make me money. That's what they're good for. That's what's in some king's mind. A grand illusion is what his mind is. It's so grand that even touching 1% of it would make them freak out in all fear and cowardly fear. It would just die if it saw it all at once. Anybody would. The world's set up to be what it is, though, and we're not supposed to rebel because all the powers and everything that's set up is by the Creator. So that's not the answer either, to go and murder them and attack and rebel now. That's not the answer either. It's a contradiction to someone because they're living for the world. This is their home. Let it be known that it's very temporary. It just thinks as its home. It's a sin to think so and believe so because Messiah has no place to rest his head. There's no home, not in this world. Well, that means something. There's no home for Messiah and his people. It's not. This is not home. This is a land of delusion and confusion and wickedness. It's Sodom and Gomorrah 2.0. This is not home. It's a problem and a sin in the heart for already believing the first thing, that it is home, because that's connected to only evil. And there's so many branches that can be spoken of to make the connection of why it's evil for it to be home. These spiritual things have to be given to be seen. There's all kinds of connections for everything, for every truth. Like a tree. That's what a tree is. It looks like a tree. There's all kinds of connections that could be talked about, not just one thing. What on earth is a tree that has one branch only, one tiny little branch, a tree stump and one tiny little branch, single branch? That's not a tree. His truth is hard, and they're hard words. One way to test something is it smooth? Because if it is truly smooth words, it's already a lie. Smooth words by false prophets. Smooth, oily words, flattering people, want to flatter someone, flattering lips. Is it smooth? It's a lie. But it has to be seen if it is, though. It really has to be seen. How will someone see and discern if it is or not? It has to get it from the Father, from the Creator. Can't discern himself. How's it going to see? How does it see the difference between two things that look identical? Until some sight is given, it looks identical. So therefore, if two things look identical, someone is not seeing two things. They're only seeing one thing. They're seeing two things, but they're one in that they look the same. They're identical. There's not even two things. You just have to say two things to bring out the truth. There's only one thing because it looks the same. Good looks just like evil, and evil looks just like good. This is happening in the heart. It only sees one thing. That's it. That's the best I could do for what I see spiritually. Try to put it in words. Here's a good promise. If someone wants life, keep the commandments. It's a promise. There's reality to that. If someone's wanting to do that and doing that, then they'll have life. Doesn't mean it's going to be easy. Where do I read that? Because this truth over here is true, it suddenly means it's going to be easy now. See, they just slip in a lie, slip in some feel good, smooth thing, telling someone what they want to hear, deceitfully using scripture to try to make it true when it's a lie. That's adding to his word, to assume something and just add it in like that, to say, well, if this is over here, it must be like this, and then just break his word and lie. It likes adding and taking away all the time. It likes implying something, which is adding. Are you saying this? See, they just added something when they did that. Are you saying this? Something was added that's not there, that we're not reading right there. No, not saying this. Oh, you're bringing something else up. Now we have to bring out other scriptures about what you just bring up. See, it's always working out of mixing everything up and destroying everything in its path. Just like a bulldozer, just digging randomly, just plowing the dirt. It doesn't care. It's like driving at full speed with the giant shovel or whatever it is. In rage, bumping up and down, it's angry. It's got it at full throttle with bumps everywhere and head bobbling everywhere, angry and wrath. And while it's moving and driving this, it says, yeah, but what about this? And then it just plows right through. It doesn't even care about what it just asked. That's how bad it is. Just wants to try to find some sin on you. That's it. Find some kind of sin on you, so to condemn you, so that it can throw the truth down with you and destroy it, because it's a destroyer. That's what Adam is. He's no good. He has to die. There's no salvation for Adam. There's no saving Adam. Adam has to die. There's nothing to save. He's rotten. No good. Means there's no good. That's what no good means. There's zero good. There's no good. No good. Adam has to die. Eve has to die. And something new becomes. That's completely different, nothing to do with the old. The new becomes the old perishing, the outwardly man perishing, the inwardly one growing. That's what the apostle's speaking of. He's not talking about the literal rotting flesh as he rots. Tomorrow, my literal flesh is dying more. I mean, that is the picture. He's not speaking spiritual words. And the inwardly man growing, the outward perishing. He's not talking about someone's physical body and that's the problem. They imply all this, though, so often. Flesh and blood cannot enter the kingdom. It's not a physical problem with someone's literal body. It's not the problem. That's a justification and a cover for real sin. If that's what that means to someone, that means they're committing the sin that those words are talking about. If it has nothing to do with someone's physical body being the problem, then isn't that what they just proved they believe that's what it means and how it works? Then what is going on in the heart if that's what they believe that means? Sin. 100%. It's already doing the sin because it doesn't have any knowledge. They're not seeing. It thinks that's what it means. Therefore, it's doing the sin in reality. If that's not what it means, then what is it doing? Sin. If only I could get rid of my body, I could enter the kingdom of heaven. I wish I could just disappear and still be alive somehow, and yet have no body. Just who and what you are just disappears, and yet you're still there. And now you can enter the kingdom. Got rid of all that nasty flesh. Just get rid of your whole body because the flesh can't enter the kingdom. Have they ever thought to ask the Creator what that means, to give understanding on that and wait on the answers? They don't come in one day. He could give something, right away, but that's what it is. It doesn't come in one day. Full understanding is not going to come in one day. There's patience needed to wait. Who's waiting? Who's having this real patience in the world? It's running in haste. It has no patience that I can see. It has patience for doing evil. That's not patience. That's it. That's evil. It's not patience. That's not what patience means in heaven. It's not what patience for good is being meant in his word at all. Having patience for evil is not patience. It just looks like it. Having patience for 30 years in prison to try and go and revenge whoever put you in prison or something, whatever nonsense, is not patience. That's evil. That's wisdom to this world. The wicked patience is wisdom. Those that wait, good things happen. What are good things? Wicked things. More money, more views, more fame, more worship. Good things come to those who wait. You mean evil things come to those who do the wicked waiting. Stop lying. Big fish has to swallow the little fish. It doesn't care. Get out of my way. Oh, doesn't care. Just swallows it up. That's how business runs also. Just swallows everything whole. Just wants to destroy everything and take it under its own name. It comes in its own name and image. Anything under its name is good and mighty and strong. Coming in the Father's name is evil to this world. Messiah coming in the Father's name is wicked, evil. Even claiming, accusing him of being God, the Creator, Elohim. Are you Elohim? For what? For being a son of Elohim, the very thing religion claims they are. And then that same religion points the finger to Messiah and says, are you prideful and wicked, claiming to be the Creator? For saying what? That he's a son of Elohim? Wow, how evil is that? Yeah, how evil is that? That work that was done, how evil is it? Standing on the green grass, someone says, is that grass green that you're standing on? Yes, it's green. Oh, wicked, prideful, monster. Are you God? You asked the question and it was answered truthfully. Now Messiah is prideful and a God now for answering your question. Why'd you ask it then? If the truthful answer is wicked to you, why'd you really ask then? Now I got to find out why you asked, because you definitely didn't ask a genuine question out of good. It wasn't a question at all. It wasn't a question in heaven. It was a trick to only look like it so that you can do evil and try to find out some kind of evil in Messiah with a goal and intention to do so. There's some other reason that question was asked now, since it was discerned that that was no question at all. You know, you answer a question and then there's always usually two sides. And if you answer one of them, oh, wrong answer. You didn't ask a question then, says the guy with the revolver in his hand. Wrong answer. Pop. God Almighty right there. It likes that sick, cowardly, fearful control it has. It likes putting a gun to someone's head and watching them not be able to do anything except beg them. Wants worship. It looks at it like the spit and filth it knows it is in its heart and believes it is in its heart. Beg me. Maybe I'll give you life. Maybe I'll spare you, you worthless dung, garbage human being to me. That's why I'm pointing a gun at your head. That I'm just proving that's what I believe about you. But if I spare you now I did good to you. Now all of those works disappear, don't they? Suddenly now I actually care about you and I don't think you're trash, dung, and evil, wicked, garbage, no good, rotten, want to kill you. Now all that goes away because you pardoned someone. Sick, it didn't go away. Threatening someone is sin, and that's a work of the devil. Threatening someone is the work of the devil. Pretty impossible to remember all these things every single day. Someone better be asking for it to do the Creator's will and remember all of these things. And He'll do it. Make us into what it needs to be. Mold the heart into what it needs to be molded to. It looks something like molding clay, but it's not molding literal clay. It's something like that spiritually. It's changing its form, and that form represents something good here. Those good works, the spiritual good works, is representing that form, changing the form. It's the true thing, not just an image. It looks different because it is different. Now that thing that looks like something can finally be good because it's real. It looks like something because it is something. It doesn't look like something for deceiving someone and pretending to be something it cannot be, and creating an image with no heart, with no change at all. It's just a cold, empty image. The trick, it looks like it's changing form because it makes itself look like it changes form. Making yourself look like you're changing is not the true changing at all. Zero. It's incredible. All day long, the world thinks it is, though. Making yourself look like changing or anything like this, making yourself look like the thing, is not doing the real thing. It's proof already. It's already over. If that's what someone is doing, they aren't doing the real thing because they're making themselves look like it, which isn't the real thing. It's a circle. It's like it goes in a circle forever. Keep saying the same thing over and over again because it goes in a circle. It's deep. His truth is deep. Who can know it? What is freely giving? Well, one thing freely giving is not charging anything, not putting debt on anyone, secretly or openly, spiritually or literally. for debt, the evil debt onto someone is evil, and its intention is to control them. How does it sell itself to get near you? That it's giving you something. Here, have some money. The only reason the government would ever give, the only reason they're able to give a little bit or make it look like they do that is so that they control you and swallow you. It never did the real giving. It only gave so that it can do its evil and put someone in debt and make them rely on them and then control them. That's all. It's just the trick and manipulation and evil works. It's not freely giving at all. Then when it does this free giving that's only for wicked, evil intentions, it boasts how righteous it is for giving when it only gave to do evil. Then it boasts that it's righteous when it does this fake giving, false giving. What does someone want then? To make it look better, more entertaining? Then what is their intention if that's what they want? Is that going to do any good for someone, making it more entertaining? Well, they can try. See how it works for them. See how all those souls are being saved. See how that's working. While in reality, they're in death. It's not working. Thinking it's working, needing to continue to tell the same lie over and over again that it's working the rest of your life. It will never have an answer. It never actually knows. It keeps on telling the same lie to its own self the rest of its life, and it gets worse and worse. It gets worse and worse. It needs to keep convincing itself that this lie is real, that this false doctrine is real, because it's never content, never has the truth or answer, never knows in its own heart. It doesn't know whether what it's saying is true or not ever. It's never given outside of his will, outside of believing in him. It can't be ever given. It will always be in unrest and unsteady like this the rest of its life. It will never truly know. But pride took over and acts like it knows. Now it's trapped in its pride and can't come out of it. Now, if it comes out of it, it thinks it'll be spotted. Therefore, it's a slave to its sin and cannot come out of it. It thinks that it's not being seen as long as it maintains the image and delusion. The deeper someone goes down, the deeper it is, the worse, the more impossible it is to come out of it. Because the moment you do, then your image is broken, then people are going to notice you, right? People are going to say something. Say you're a fraud, might go to prison or something. Might get your image completely trashed and lose all that self-gain. You have to maintain that image now the rest of life. Maintain that slavery. Keep working at that sin, and pile up more sin debt. What prison? No one will get out of that prison until the last penny is paid. Pay for their sins. Apart from his favor, if it's not his favor and forgiveness through belief and repenting, someone is paying for their sins spiritually. And they will not get out of the prison that they're in until the last penny is paid, Messiah says. That's all the way down to the finest detail of every spiritual work in the heart has to be paid. Every last penny, every finest detail, every single lie it ever told, every single deception, every trick, every thought that was evil against someone is going to have to get paid until it's complete. Meditating on that. Need to. You don't create some kind of religion and some doctrine now. This is what you need to do. Now go and do this tomorrow, and now you completed these words. That's not what it means that we need to. It doesn't work like that at all. It's someone's heart wanting to do what's right, seeking the truth from the Creator, the best that they are given right now. No one can do better than whatever they are given right now. It's just that they're doing that. They believe. That's what matters. Actual belief in him, wanting to do his will for it doesn't matter where they are. Someone can't just change their heart and change their life because they followed some blind command in one day. It didn't change their heart in one day, that's for sure. It didn't do anything. No understanding at all came because of that. So it likes to put heavy yokes, debt, and burden on people, the church world. It does it to the whole entire world, and it condemns the whole world that's already condemned by the Creator. It double condemns. It condemns the condemned, something we need to not do. In the heart is not condemned. Messiah condemns no one. Messiah didn't come to condemn with that intention, which is wicked. He came to save that which is lost. Those that aren't believing are simply not believing. They're not to be condemned. From the heart for real. Messiah didn't come to condemn. He came to save that which was lost. He didn't come to condemn. Father's not coming with the intention and now commanding us to go and condemn everyone that doesn't believe like the church world does. Even to a very, very evil judgment that is no judgment at all, but a torture chamber for forever. That's no judgment. That's not the Creator's judgment. That doctrine all by itself is proof of the condemnation it has in its heart. It's already over. You can't believe that doctrine for this world to be tortured with endlessly with no end in some brutal, unimaginable thing, burning forever. You can't have that doctrine in the heart and not condemn someone. That is condemnation right there. Wanting the good thing, the true thing, wanting the righteous judgment for sin, wanting righteous judgment is not condemning someone, but the enemy will try to get you to believe it is. No, hell and the false doctrine is condemning someone. That's evil. The true judgment is not evil. Wanting good is not evil. Wanting the truth is never evil. Wanting the truth is not condemning someone. It's speaking and doing it works out of understanding, knowing that every sin needs a judgment and righteous judgment. That's not wanting condemnation for someone. The Father makes a way for us not to do the condemnation and to want the good things still. There's a way for that. There's not a way for those that never ask, never believe. There's no way. The way is crooked. Like we read, the way is crooked. Who can make crooked that which who can make straight that which he made crooked? It's already crooked first. There's no way possible. A way has to be made. The Red Sea has to be split. There's no way. He makes a way. For those that believe, he makes a way. For those that don't, there is no way. He doesn't make a way. What they believe their reality is. There's no way now. There's no way to please the Creator apart from faith. No faith, dead, death. Enemy of the Creator, sinner, blind, cannot do any good. That's what happens with no faith. I think I'll end here, maybe get a little sleep. There is good reward for doing good, freely giving. It's just not what the world's interested in. It doesn't know what that is. Hasn't received the good things yet. There's one who makes himself rich and yet he's poor. There's one who makes himself poor and yet he's rich. We read in Proverbs. Someone wants more views, do something to get more views. Why? Till that's answered truthfully. Why? Speak the truth, don't lie. Why? Why does someone want so much more views? Do they want to not be able to handle whatever their work is? They want so many views that they want to break some other thing and commit sin. So they want themselves to be overloaded literally and not be able to handle all the stuff, all the people coming their way. They want so many views that they want to break something else that's good and get way impossibly overloaded and unable to actually handle its reality and situation. It wants to not be able to handle it by getting millions of views and people coming its way. See that? Did that heart ever think it wanted that kind of evil? No, it never crossed someone's mind, but that's what they want. The works prove it. It doesn't matter what the carnal man thinks. The works prove it. The works are evil. The heart's evil, deceitful above all things. One of the greatest deceptions is not believing that's true, that it is deceitful above all things. Get that over with, get that out of the way, and now that takes care of that problem. Install some kind of doctrine that gets someone to believe that the heart is not deceitful above all things. Well, it takes care of that. Won't have to think about that ever again. Plus, that just torments me anyways, day and night in the presence of the Lamb. Fear and trembling, thundering and lightning. We're afraid of the Creator. Through Moses, through Messiah, the first and the second, the old covenant, the new, the first mediator and type of the mediator between man and Elohim, and the Messiah is the true fulfillment of the mediator between man and Elohim, the Creator. Not the Creator himself, he's the mediator between man and the Creator. That doesn't do some kind of evil. That doesn't trash any truth or trash Messiah. Truth does the exact opposite. Just claim that it does that. Saying that he is the Creator is the blasphemy and trashing him and denying all truth. That's what it is, not the truth. Not saying he's not the Creator. That's not evil. That's good. It's the truth. Such a clever, crafty deception to believe Messiah is the Creator. Such a clever, crafty doctrine and deception. Already working its deceitfulness and trick. To get someone to believe they don't commit any sin at all. They don't need to repent at all. They don't die. They're immortal. They can do no evil and no sin at all in their heart, what the heart believes. Well, I decided that 2/3 of Ryan dies. I'm just going to die right now. Only 2/3 of me dies. Therefore, I am dead and alive at the same time. That's what this world is right there, that middle contradiction, mixed impossibility that doesn't actually exist. Nobody's dead and alive. You're either dead or alive. Part of the Creator is dead and part of him is alive. Which one is it? All right, that's all I have for now. I'll seek the truth from the Creator. It never hurts to say it again, does it? Try to deceive someone by seeking the truth, by tricking someone to seek the Creator with their heart. This is good. How is that evil? Seek the truth from the Creator. Where is the selfishness in that? Where's the pride in that? All right, peace, take care, seek truth from above.